You there, adventurer? Yes, you. Do you desire knowledge of immense worlds and arcane power? A codex of untold stories and lore? Or perhaps simply easy listening for your daily commute? Then feast your eyes, or, more accurately, ears, upon Dungeonpedia. Shit's about to get nerdy in here.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Dungeonpedia, an exploration into the lore of Dungeons & Dragons. We're your hosts, Llewyn Markell.
Taylor Stringfield.
And I'm Travis Peasley.
It's our 100th episode!
It is.
Insert party noises here.
Those, those.
Yeah,
Don't remember what those are called.
Don't bring air horns to a party. That might not be the nicest thing to do.
It depends on what kind of party it is and where it's at.
That's true. But maybe not in our small room that we record what's supposed to be listenable audio in.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
not.
We didn't think ahead of time and enough time to do something special in terms of research, but I mean, it is our 100th research.
Yeah, and I did think about that briefly before I started doing the research for this. I was like, oh, it's our 100th episode. I was like, I should find some way to integrate that or whatever. And I was like, well, I don't know why this is where my brain went. My initial thought was to look at Dragon Magazine issue 100 and just hope that it had an interesting
something in there,
an interesting ecology article, and then I could be for our 100th episode,
we wrote a Dragon Magazine 100.
Yeah,
that would have been nice.
Yeah, but I don't think that panned out. And then when I was 75% done with these notes, I remembered that this is our 100th episode, and that for a minute or two there, I wanted to do something special, and I was like, well.
That sucks.
Yeah, that sucks.
Anyways, here's what we're doing.
Right. Anyway, here's the same shit we've been doing for 100 episodes.
I mean, what more would you expect?
Or I guess 99 at this point.
This
is the 100th.
Yeah, this is the 100th instance of
bullshit.
This shit, yeah. So today we're talking about Tritons. This is partially inspired by kind of a twofold. Lately, I've been kind of feeling talking about one of the one of those races of characters that sometimes that show up as player characters, usually in supplemental materials like Yuan-Ti or Tabaxi.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Oh, speaking of Tabaxi.
Oh yeah, they're here.
One of the cats is
trying to claw its way under the door.
Yeah, they're very excited.
How dare you leave us out at the 100th episode celebration?
So sorry. You'll be fine.
They'll live. But I was kind of wanting to do one of those tangential player character races, for lack of a better way to describe it.
Yeah.
And this is also partially inspired by our last session of D&D that is DM'd by our friend and social media manager, CJ. Hi, CJ.
Hi, CJ. This is for you.
Yeah, this is my way of coping with that. Which, to be fair, the Tritons in that episode, session didn't really end up coming into play that much, but they were there. But I was okay, sort of secondary player character races, the ocean, because I was episode, that session made me feel kind of oceany in general.
Right.
I was looking for some maritime fun.
It was a very oceany
session.
And so I was oh, Tritons! And thus I did this instead of trying to find some way to incorporate the number 100 into it. But here we are.
That's fine.
So
Tritons.
So a little bit of background, as I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of. Tritons are named for and based on the Greek mythological figure Triton, who was the son of Poseidon and Amphitrite.
Making Hercules and Ariel cousins.
Yes.
Whoa.
He was depicted most often as a sort of like traditional looking merman, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the top half is a human, and then the bottom half is like that classic like mermaid
Fishy
fishtail.
tail.
Yeah.
Scales.
Yeah.
Fishy tail scales.
Fishy tail scales.
Say
Say that 5 times fast.
Nope. I already know it's not going to work. And also later, the word Triton became kind of a disambiguation for mermen in the Greek and Roman eras. So you had like Triton, the god,
And then
Tritons. Tritons being mer people. Well, particularly, I think usually referred to mermen specifically. But, you know. And the mythological figure, I'm going to say Titan like 10 times. I'm sorry.
That's a different thing.
That's something
That
else.
is a whole different thing.
That's something very different. That they are conveniently often very close to each other in monster manuals. So the Greek god Triton is often portrayed with a conch shell that he uses like a horn, as well as a trident sometimes. And in a lot of interpretations acts as kind of like a messenger or herald for his father Poseidon.
That tracks.
Yeah. So that's kind of the vibe we're working with here. So Tritons first appeared in the supplement Greyhawk, which was published in 1975, and this is another one of those where like their little thing was just like 5 or 6 lines.
Their little thing was 5 or 6 lines.
Oh,
Their little mermaid thing.
little God. Oh,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Disappointingly, we're actually not going to be talking about their little mermaid things really in this episode because nobody deigned to tell me how Tritons reproduce. So I guess I'll just go fuck myself then.
That's lame.
I know. I wanted.
was kind of interested to see.
I know. I wanted some of those beer battered fish sticks. You know.
Jesus Christ.
Damn, what the fuck?
I mean, you guys opened that door by saying they're little.
Yeah, I didn't call them beer battered fish sticks.
Well, I'm just saying you opened the door. I just walked through it.
Okay.
So Tritons were similar to mermen in appearance. Yes, they usually existed alongside mermen, which was kind of confusing. But are more powerful in all ways.
Oh God.
Always.
I'm better than you in every single conceivable way.
It reminds me of
Fucking
like
deal with it.
from the Sahuagin episode where it's like they're like Sahuagin are just factually better than people. They're just also evil.
Yeah.
So they range from 5 to 7 hit dice, and they can use spells in a manner that is like commensurate with their hit dice. So basically, like at this level, you have this many,
Right.
or at this level of hit dice, you have this many spells. Blah 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 blah. They can move 15 feet per turn, and also like turn around in open water, which is a little bit more difficult to do when you're not a native water creature. But they do not venture on land. When mounted on giant seahorses,
Yay!
their movement speed increases to 24. Well, no, this is the my bad. I said feet. I'm pretty sure that it's that thing where they have the inch marker, you know, that I'm pretty sure is meant to be a substitute for like squares.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I think because I feel like you would move more than 24 inches in any given round on a seahorse just from the size of the seahorse.
Of this particular season.
Well, this particular type of seahorse, yes. They have very high magical resistance at 90%, which persists through like a lot of iterations of them. They're very, very strong against magic. And yeah, that was basically it. They were like, yeah, there's these guys, they look like mermen, and they're better than mermen, and they live in the ocean and they ride giant seahorses sometimes.
I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, to clarify what the appearance of mermen that they're referring to is, I realized this later on in one of the books where they actually had art of them, but I forgot to go back and note this in Greyhawk. But it's not like the man, and then at the waist he has a fishtail.
Yeah.
It's a man, and then at the waist he has two fishtails that look like legs.
Oh, so like the Starbucks mermaid.
Yeah, I like the Starbucks mermaid. Yeah. Have you not seen the full, like...
No, I have. I just kind of forgot temporarily that the Starbucks thing was a mermaid.
Yeah.
that
So
is kind of weird, actually. Why is that?
Seattle.
Oh, I guess. Because I mean, I guess, but I don't typically associate mermaids and coffee. I mean, maybe I should. But...
Maybe you should. Maybe mermaids are the reason we have coffee. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it's because we saw some animal getting crazy on some coffee beans. We're like, I want to do that.
Right? That thing that, like, some plants developed as, like, a defense mechanism against being eaten. Mm-hmm. We're like, that's lit. Give me all of that.
We saw an animal have a heart attack after eating some coffee beans, and we're like, I want to try that.
Right.
That looks like fun. Can we do that?
And then we didn't have a heart attack. We just got really fast.
Yeah. But then eventually...
It's a little bit better, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
It truly is, like, the better outcome.
Now I'm just imagining, like, a mermaid swimming in, like, a tank full of coffee. And that mermaid is me. But yeah, also, like, okay, yes, it's funny because it's the Starbucks mermaid. But also, like, some of the art of them with their weird tail leggies is, like, ugh. I don't like it.
It's not good?
It's not good because it's, at this stage at least, it's not like you sometimes see with like the Sahuagin or the Malenti or the Sea Elves or something like that, where it's like they have like kind of more like webbed feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Almost like scaly, kind of like froggy in like shape. It's just literally like two straight up mermaid tails. So it looks weird.
It looks like the Starbucks thing.
It looks like the Starbucks thing, except it's also like actually swimming about. And
okay, well I guess I can see how that
and not trying to sell you a beverage. So
are you saying that if these Tritons were trying to sell you a beverage, you would feel better about
it? Maybe. So they also appear in the supplement Eldritch Wizardry, which is really hard to say, which was published in 1976. And this basically, like, this mostly focuses on psionics like 4 Tritons, basically. So the way they explained it is that 1 in 10 Tritons have the potential to develop psionic powers. But in any given group of 100 Tritons, one of them is guaranteed to have psionic abilities. Okay. So it's like 1 in 10 can, but like 1 in 100 is guaranteed to.
It's absolutely going to have
psionic
powers. Which these things with psionic powers is frightening.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. They're good aligned through most of their iterations. Are fine.
Most.
And also they're in the ocean. So you're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
So you're fine.
You're right.
They had powers of the magic user psionicist type, which included some abilities more or less specific to the magic user type, such as teleportation, molecular agitation, and etherealness.
Molecular agitation.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Because the way it was organized, I guess, in Eldritch Wizardry, which maybe one of these days I'll do an episode about psionics when I've decided that I really hate myself. I mean, it's very interesting, but there's just a lot.
There is.
They were talking about like attack mode and defense mode, and I was like getting Yu-Gi-Oh! Flashbacks from reading this book. But they had it basically separated into like you had cleric type psionicists, magic user type psionicists, fighter type psionicists, and then there was one more. Anyway, but it was basically like of the kind of like OD&D type classes, there were different types of psionicists that had access to some different abilities. They had a lot of overlap, but
right.
So, moving into Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, they actually get a lot of expansion, as many creatures do, from Greyhawk to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in the Monster Manual, which was published in 1977. They are considered medium creatures with a neutral good alignment and an intelligence of high and up. So they're very smart. Tritons have silvery skin, which fades into silvery blue colored scales on their lower limbs. Those freaky two mermaid tails that kind of look like legs, but also not enough.
Two mermaid tails. Yeah.
Yeah, it hits that uncanny valley of like, it's not quite fishy enough, but also not quite humanoid enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you took the worst two aspects of both and put them together.
Like, why would you do this?
Why you do this? Their hair is deep blue or blue-green.
Tracks.
Yeah. Titans have... I swear to God.
All right, let's get a Titan counter going.
Please do not take a shot every time I accidentally say Titan.
You will die.
You will be drinking like a Triton because they live in the ocean. Tritons have their own language and can also speak the language of sea elves and that of the Lokatha.
Oh.
Yeah. Lokatha. So Tritons are rumored to be creatures from the elemental plane of water that have been planted on the material plane for some purpose that is currently unknown to surface dwellers. Which, I gotta say, that phrasing, I don't like it.
I don't either.
And wouldn't you know that they never expand on that idea further?
Of course not.
Of them being planted for some unknown reason.
Of course not.
Right?
Well, that's terrifying.
Let's just go with they were put there to stop the stupid humanoids from destroying the ocean.
Yes.
I think we need that.
Sure. Which, I mean, like, they are like good aligned, so that's chill. But it's kind of like, who
and why?
Yeah, like who and why, and do they have good intentions? Oh. So Tritons typically live in warmer waters, but are able to live at shallow or deeper depths. They seldom venture upon dry land because they're not exactly great at walking, as I'm sure you can imagine.
I would have.
Well, I say walking. They don't really, depending on the edition, they don't really walk. They just like literally drag themselves.
Oh my god.
Is an interesting visual.
Oh.
So in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Tritons are known to serve the god Triton.
Wild.
Though little else is known about their purpose on the Prime. So from that phrasing, you could assume that maybe Triton put them there, but we don't know why.
But we're
also not sure.
We still don't know why.
Or if for sure.
So, given their goodly nature, they frequently find themselves in conflict with the more evil aligned races of the deep, such as the Sahuagin, the Ixtitzichitl.
Holy shit, you didn't even stutter with that one.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. But given their more goodly alignment, you can kind of imagine.
Yeah.
But they are generally well disposed towards humans who do not mean harm to the Triton society.
Good.
So that's pretty
nice.
cool. You know, if you're on a little party boat for your birthday and you drown, or you're starting to drown, like a Triton might save you and take you up to shore and then fall in love with you. And then sacrifice their weird little two fishtails.
To get actual legs.
Yeah, to get actual legs.
But will they still have their voice?
Yeah, they will, because they're not mermaids. So
Okay.
it's like slightly different.
Okay.
And also, they know better than to make deals with sea witches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't ask how they got the legs. It is 90% likely that any Tritons encountered will be mounted upon hippocampi or giant seahorses.
Hippocampi?
That's those water horses.
Well, now I'm just gonna have to
that are
Google
like the front half is like a horse and the back half is a mermaid tail. Like kelpies.
Yeah.
I think kelpies and hippocampi are at least like similar, I think.
Oh,
Those guys, yeah.
You mean something that is basically like a literal
Seahorse.
Yeah.
So they have seahorses, and then they have seahorses. And honestly, like, if I were a Triton and it was like, all right, you're of age now to go, like,
be Tritony.
Go do Tritony things. You can pick your mount. Do you want a seahorse or a hippocampi? I would be like, I don't know.
I would absolutely take the hippocampi.
But, like, giant seahorse.
I'm sorry, hippocampus, I guess.
Yeah, it would be a hippocampus for a singular. But, like, that fucks so hard. I want, like, a giant leafy sea dragon. I love those guys.
Ooh, okay, yeah, that's chill.
That's super chill. But unfortunately for me, I probably wouldn't go off and do Tritony things because only male Tritons engage in combat as a general rule. I mean, I guess I could go do other things. Like hunt for pearls or something.
Destroy the patriarchy?
Yeah, like destroy the underwater patriarchy. Or like, hunt for pearls. Or just like go swim around a coral reef and just like look at everything. That'd be pretty dope. Triton leaders bear conch shell horns, which calm rough waters when blown a special way. That's what she said. They are also typically used as signal devices. These horns can summon 5 to 20 hippocampi, 5 to 30 giant seahorses, or 1 to 10 sea lions.
Jesus.
They often have I don't think I wrote this down, but they often, like, at any given stronghold or, like, city of Tritons have, like, sea lions as pets.
Yeah.
Which is, like, also dope.
Like, yeah. And it makes sense. Just goddamn sea lions, man.
Fucking sea lions. I love those guys. Fucking dog mermaids. So these conch shell horns also cause marine creatures with animal intelligence or less to flee in panic.
Oh.
Yeah, which would include, I would imagine, sharks. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because sharks are not very smart.
No, they are not.
So that's the kind of bulk of them in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but there are some fun bits of flavor and things about them from the module The War Rafts of Kron, which was published in 1984. So as we discussed, Tritons resemble Marrow, which is the, like, merperson way of saying, like, mermaid.
Right.
But can be distinguished by cultural differences, such as the way they braid their hair. Also, Triton weresharks, whose animal forms resemble mako sharks, exist. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say that might actually be the coolest.
What the hell?
Weresharks.
What the fuck?
Wereshark. Here sharks.
Scary sharks.
Yeah, not to be confused with were-dolphins. Remember those?
Oh God.
Call back. Oh God.
No, I had forgotten. Thank you.
You're welcome. A description is also given for a prominent, important Triton city.
Yay.
That kind of illuminates some interesting things about, like, their culture. So the city is called Suthis, and Suthis is like
sus.
Sussis. But it is a city made entirely from dead coral that is cut from distant coral reefs. I enjoy this note, which is not expanded on much further in most other iterations, but I like it. It says, prompted by their love of beauty and music, the Tritons made the entire city a natural musical instrument.
What?
As water currents flow through the coral foundation of the city, they create a complex rhythm that can be heard up to 12 miles away.
Okay, I want this.
Okay, also, I know it's like a foundation of coral, but all my brain is like, the coral foundation.
The coral foundation.
Oh.
It's just a
Trying to
giant musical instrument.
Yeah.
What the hell? I want it so bad.
A huge building made of different types and colors of coral covers one side of the city. And out of each of the 6 corners rises a tower. And atop these towers are bright lights which illuminate the entire city. And these bright lights are glowworms. Giant glowworms.
Oh my God.
What the
And it says their glow can be seen up to 5 miles from the city. So the Tritons use this kind of combination of light and sound that's generated by the city itself to, like, navigate.
That's amazing.
Isn't that so cool?
That is. These Tritons are fucking ridiculous. They are like next level.
They're like extra, like
I love them.
like hey,
Super
yeah, you know,
extra.
like yeah, New York City's pretty cool or whatever, but like
We got glowworms.
we got glowworms
In a musical city.
and buildings that sing. Fuck you. So, Tritons were adapted as a player character option in the supplement The Sea People, which was published in 1990.
Also not a steeple.
Steeple.
Banjo, king of the sea monkeys. Which I gotta say, this book has a lot of very cool stuff, and also additionally, the cover for this book is probably one of my favorite pieces of art from Dungeons and Dragons that I have ever seen.
God damn.
Like literally, it's so cool, and it's really neat because it focuses on play in a mostly underwater setting.
Yeah.
So like it has all the rules about like movement underwater, and other things I can't think of.
Movement underwater.
Well, that was probably like 3 chapters worth of information because it's complicated.
Fair.
And also probably just like general like fighting underwater. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of
Life underwater.
yeah.
But like, which is very, very interesting.
See, I didn't realize that them being adopted, them being adapted as player characters happened like so early on. I thought that was more of a recent thing.
Nope. That's kind of what I thought too. I was thinking maybe like it would have happened perhaps in 3rd edition.
Yeah, like 3 or 3.5, but
Not like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that's really early.
So, unfortunately, I found their actual like their bit, I guess, like their race descriptions as for like your player character choices to be somewhat lacking. There wasn't really anything that I found particularly interesting there. But there was some other sections of the book where Triton society is discussed at large from the perspective of an in-game source. So it's another one of those like
I love that.
I know. So of all of the different groups of like underwater people, the Tritons are unusual because they maintain a standing army. And this kind of comes from their more like settled lifestyle as opposed to a lot of the other like
wandering.
Yeah, civilizations in this particular setting were more like nomadic.
Right.
And also in addition to this, a lot of Tritons are involved full-time in things like administration, farming, crafting, yada yada. So it's funny because this person said that Tritons have a very relaxed attitude about work. So they're just like, like whatever.
Like, yeah, we do this like all day, but it's whatever.
Yeah, like they're still kind of like it's interesting. I think that is presented as a contrast for them that they have like a standing army and this more like settled, very regimented lifestyle, but they're also like kind of chill. It kind of to me like almost embodies that like stereotypical like water personality, you know?
Oh yeah.
They're, like they're kind of just like chill, go with the flow, whatever.
Just it's fine.
It says on the whole they're a peaceful folk who delight in life. They grow their own food. They herd fish for food. And this is so cool. They cultivate like huge forests of kelp. And that's like a big like part of their like food source. Like I would imagine that's like that's like rice for them probably.
A kelp forest.
Yeah. So like between that, other like small.
Do you think they make sushi?
Probably.
Absolutely.
Man, I hope so. They probably have the
They just make
sushi.
they just probably
The freshest sushi for sure.
they just make sushi but like hold the rice. It's just all seaweed and fish.
I mean, there are some sushi rolls that are close to that.
Yeah. But between that, fish, other small crustaceans and things like that, it says they make wonderful food.
I fucking bet.
Which I would imagine.
I would go to a Triton restaurant for sure.
Fucking same.
Even if it was underwater?
Yes.
Oh God.
I would risk it.
It's like that one restaurant in
the
Neopets in the.
Oh, I was thinking about the one that's real.
Oh,
but yes, the one in Neopets.
that's like ludicrously expensive.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's like that.
You found a paintbrush on the floor that one time.
Yeah. It's in what's that zone called? Maraqua,
I
think.
Only real ones know.
Y'all remember Neopets?
Yeah, I have no clue. What
Yeah, Travis
right
is
now.
Maraqua, yeah, the underwater kingdom.
Travis's eyes just like glazed over. So the fish that they kind of like herd and more or less like breed for food kind of like freely swim around their societies, but trained dogfish, which are a type of shark, are used to prevent them from wandering too far.
Oh my God.
So like
they're like herding animals.
Yeah.
Basically.
But also like you just like go outside and there's like a bunch of like, I don't know, sheep, I guess, just like running around. And then, you're like, well, I was going to say, oh, I want that one. And you just like pluck it and eat it right there. Probably not with sheep, but
I wouldn't do that with sheep. No.
They probably do that with fish though. Like they just see like a nice one, like nice plump, juicy looking one swimming around. And they're like, yoink.
Yoink.
Just as it swims by, catch it. All right, let's go.
So Tritons tend to live in the more scenic and warmer parts of the sea and avoid the deeper and cooler waters, which I think is a good move.
Yeah, I don't blame them there.
For one, in general, but also because it is obviously darker down there.
But they have the cool glowworms.
And their eyes are not suited to seeing in the like very, very deep parts of the sea.
Okay. No.
And also the glowworms like live in the towers, so I highly doubt they could just...
They can like cultivate them.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm saying that they were cultivated to live in the towers. So.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, do you want to take some glowworms and go explore the abysses under the ocean? Because I do. Reportedly, Triton can live to be at least 250 years old.
Damn.
So that's pretty cool. And also, their naming conventions favor Roman-style names, which I really like.
That's always the jam.
And also, I feel like it's fun because some details in these like earlier sort of supplements, I think really tie them back well to the mythological figure Triton. And the use of the word Tritons as a disambiguation for mermen, like their names being like Roman style. I like it.
10 out of 10.
Roman style fish people names.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds good to me.
The thing is, like, you said that, and my brain was like, not even just because I like know about Tritons, but I was just like, yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah. That tracks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition. Tritons are in the Monsters Compendium Volume 2, which was published in 1989. So they weren't there right from the get, but they were like, yeah, we need these fish guys back. And most of the information that's in here, a lot of it is the same from Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But there are a lot of additional details, mostly centering around their behavior towards outsiders. Also, their non-fishy features are described as, quote, handsomely human. So I feel like that's worth noting.
Handsomely human.
Is that these fish people are sexy?
Naturally.
I mean, I had kind of like
assumed
and like had imagined that already, but I'm glad that they made
it clear that they're handsomely human.
Do not forget,
they are handsome.
They are handsomely human, except for the lower half.
From the waist up. So, a lot of things in D&D are like that. Handsomely human from the waist up.
Both.
Driders in general.
Yeah.
And then from the waist down, it's like, oh.
That's a spider.
Okay.
It's like, ooh.
Oh my.
I changed my mind.
So, Triton are reclusive and non-violent, and they normally only attack interlopers to capture. An exception to this is if a Triton is killed in battle, in which case the fight turns into one of retribution.
Yay!
Yeah.
Damn, so just immediate retribution.
Yeah, and if it doesn't look like that particular conflict is going to go well, the Tritons will withdraw to either gather reinforcements or make some other kind of preparation to make retribution, for one of their own kind being killed, So while Tritons maintain their leaning towards a good alignment, they are very suspicious of outsiders and have no love for land dwellers in general. Like I said, they rarely kill unless they're provoked, like I said, in a type of situation where maybe someone kills one of their own or something. But they typically will apprehend people who intrude upon their territory. So trespassers who are found guilty of intentionally entering Triton waters or treasure seeking are left, quote, to the fate of the seas.
Oh.
Which is to say, they are stripped of all their belongings and set adrift at least 10 miles from any shoreline.
Oh.
So...
Oh.
You did.
Yeah, so you're gonna drown or get eaten.
Honestly, I would imagine, I'm sure that they have countermeasures, but I would imagine some person just they just get dragged to, Triton court, and their, water breathing spell, wears off, and they just, die halfway through the struggle.
Oh my god.
They just drown, and it's doesn't matter now, I guess. Shark bait. Thank you. So it says that trespassers ruled innocent, which I guess they wouldn't really be trespassers at that point. Alleged trespassers ruled innocent by the Triton court, awaken the next day on some distant shore.
Shit, so you still get drugged, but you at least don't get killed.
Right, yeah. Which, also, it says, distant shore, and my interpretation of that is not necessarily, I don't know, the nearest shore to where they found this person. So it's still you could just be that was weird, and just wander up and get eaten by a fucking bear. So it's the same result. Well, I guess that in that case you still have all your belongings and stuff.
Yeah, they're not stripping you of all your equipment and whatnot.
Right, yeah. But still, that just feels like this is just the kind of brain I have and the kind of thoughts that I have. The
kind of brain you have, yeah.
And yeah, the kind of thoughts that I have, the things that I think about, that I'm just imagining someone waking up on shore after that. I don't know, they're in the ocean looking for some magical artifact to save their dying mom or something. And they lock eyes with this handsomely human Triton across the courtroom. And anyway. And they wake up on a distant shore with massive FOMO. And they're and then they meet again later, and it's yeah.
A lot of Triton love stories happening today.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and it's just listen, they're handsome, I can't help it.
Fair enough.
But anyway, those are the kinds of things I think about. Also, despite their goodly nature, Tritons do not aid land dwellers unless their own interests are directly involved in the matter. So they're just kind of leave us alone. Please and thank you.
Fair enough.
Which, honestly, fair enough. Who doesn't want to fuck off to the bottom of the... Well, they don't live on the bottom of the ocean, but who doesn't want to fuck off to the ocean and say, leave me alone? Because I know I do.
That's fair.
So, Tritons have no natural enemies except for the giant squid, which is immune to the effects of their conch shells. Which I didn't actually look up if this is because giant squids have too high of an intelligence to be affected by the panic effect caused by their conch shells, because I would make the assumption that a squid would have animal intelligence, but I know that real world squids are actually pretty smart as far as animal intelligence goes,
right?
Or if it just happens to be incidental, because they're we got to give these guys some kind of natural predator that isn't the Sahuagin.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's their only natural enemy, which fair, giant squids are fucking terrifying, but also kind of cool.
Yeah, their intelligence level is Genius Plus.
What? That's
intelligence level Genius Plus.
That's spoopy.
19 to 20 plus
so they're
intelligence.
They're more intelligent than Tritons, even. Okay.
So that's why they're not affected.
Okay.
Noted.
So their intelligence is definitely higher than animal. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. So, as of this supplement, or not supplement, rather. So, as of this entry in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition, normal Triton live for approximately 300 years, whereas their leaders and spellcasters have life expectancies of 500 years or more. Something I didn't mention earlier that, like, it's relevant because it ties into that, like, their leaders and spellcasters having longer life expectancies.
Right.
It's basically one of those situations where it's like every 1 in 100 Tritons that's born is exceptional and has this many hit dice, and then every 1 in this many is born, and da-da-da, and it kind of goes up goes up the ladder.
As was typical.
As it likes to do. Like, the 1 out of every however many Sahuagin are going to born with 4 arms, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's really all. But that's kind of all that is. And then it's really just that these exceptional Tritons are more likely to, like, live longer, rise higher in society, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like a strict, like, you're suddenly a different type of Triton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it's relevant, but it's also not the most interesting thing in the world. Because I don't want to sit here listing numbers for 5,000 hours and making everybody's heads hurt.
Numbers are just...
Modrons!
So you don't want to do the Modrons episode?
Yeah, so I don't want to do the Modrons, but under the sea. So, Tritons are, again, presented more detailed in this time, in my opinion, as a player character race in the Forgotten Realms supplement Sea of Fallen Stars, which was published in 1999.
Sea of Fallen Stars.
So this focuses on a setting called Saros, which I am, like, it's not that it's not pertinent, because obviously it's pertinent to the module, but it's not necessarily super pertinent to everything I'm going to be talking about here. I just wanted to clarify that that's the name of the setting, because I'm going to be saying it a few times.
Right, and it's better for us to know what the fuck Saros is.
Yeah, but it's also not like, okay, so this is this part of Saros, and this is this part, Yeah. So the Tritons are the most mysterious and distant people of Saros. They are deep-dwelling folk who rarely interact with other races until very recently in campaign time. Which this is already presenting a little bit of a contrast to the whole, like, Tritons live in shallow water thing. So they are considered among the eldest of the aquatic races in the inner sea, but they are not native to the Prime, as was discussed earlier. So the Tritons were once the only magic-wielding race to stand against the Morkoth, who are kind of like they're the bad guys of the supplement. And they helped many of the other sea people resist the evil races and also learn magic and fighting abilities.
Right.
So it says, quote, "Now, with the other races becoming their equals in culture, magic, and might, the Tritons' long isolation may soon come to a close, provided, of course, that they can consider their new allies as equals rather than children or pets." End quote. Which is like,
okay,
that's
scathing.
That's given you an attitude, or that's given you an idea of kind of the attitude we're working with going forward.
Beautiful.
Okay, yep, that's good.
In this module, they're also referred to by the epithets aloof ones, blues, long manes, and the elders, which I thought were fun.
I do like the elders.
So they're I think actually their coloration had kind of shifted a little bit in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in the Monster Manual that I forgot to mention. But as of this, most Tritons appear with deep blue skin, but sometimes bear young with skin color, with a skin color closer to a light green or like a pearl, which I think is fun. Good ocean colors.
Very good.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 ocean. Wood ocean. All of their characteristics are, I don't know where that came from. However, the albino or mutant Triton is socially outcast. So...
Oh.
What?
Also, there was like no expansion on what that means because albino, obviously.
I mean, obviously, yeah, albino,
Yeah.
but what is a mutant Triton?
I don't know.
I mean,
And it also doesn't expand on what they mean by socially outcast. Like, do they throw them out to the sharks, or do people just look at you funny? Like, what's going on?
Right, like, is it the outcast of people just don't really talk to you, or do they just kick you out?
Or do they literally physically kick you out? Like, your little Triton baby, you think you have a little pearly, and then they open their eyes and they're bright red, and you're like, oh, gotta go feed them to the sharks. Like the Sahuagin do.
Oof.
Oof. But anyway.
I mean, that's still not great.
On a lighter note, they kind of they're starting to look more I say more humanoid. Their feet are more normal.
Their feet are more normal.
So their hands are webbed, and they have kind of like, we're starting to abandon that fishtail thing a little bit, and they're starting to look a little bit more like kind of humanoid in structure legs, you know? So they have like webbed feet, and their calves are bisected by these little dorsal fins that run from the mid calf and taper off at the ankles. So they've got little fins on the back of their legs, and they're starting to look more normal.
Yeah, so instead of having the weird ass two fishtail
fucking noodle,
they have like
situation.
Humanoid legs, but they're still built for swimming. Which I guess makes
it makes me more comfortable.
Yeah, it makes me a little bit more comfortable, but I don't know. Still.
Yeah. So Tritons wear their hair, which is usually a dark blue or dark green color, in long manes. It says that men commonly cut their hair about 5 inches past shoulder length, which is still pretty long for a lot of dudes. I want to say that's longer than my hair. Anyway, or about as long, and braid it to keep the hair out of their faces. Triton women often wear their hair as long and free as they desire, though they too might braid back some or all of their hair when expedient. Also, the growth pattern of their hair makes it look like they like shave a portion of it, but in reality they just don't grow hair about like 2 inches back from their ears, which are pointed. So they kind of have that like
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a word, like not like receding hairline. I'm trying to think of like a specific.
So the only thing that I can picture in my head are the female monks from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. How they
because
kind of
they have,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Front portion with like no hair,
like
so
shaved to show
the tattoo.
so you can see it's kind of like that, except that's how their hair naturally
it just grows like that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Weird.
They also weave in pieces of metal or coral in their braids to use as bludgeoning weapons in emergencies.
Oh my.
So do you ever just like, or like, I'm imagining like those hairpins that have like knives hidden in them. Yeah.
They just like pull out this fucking like conch shell just to beat you with
start
it.
beating a bitch with.
Me.
Also, if seen anywhere closer than so depending on the depth and the lighting that they are at, like so in a brighter part of the ocean, a Triton's eyes look normal, and their irises are usually green and blue hues, as I'm sure you can imagine. However, if they are in dim lighting, such as in the depths of the ocean, which at a certain point isn't really dim, it's just dark, but you know, the pupils of Triton eyes expand tremendously to help them see, and often turns literally their entire eye black.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah. They also have a nictitating membrane that protects the eye from sudden flashes of light, and this reflex allows normal vision at depths of up to 1,000 feet below the surface of the ocean. So they've got like normal looking eyes up to a certain point, but then when they get down deep enough, they just have like these solid black.
Their eyes just
That's crazy.
Dilate to
like
darkness.
massive extremes.
Oh.
Which again, this also presents a contrast from them typically. Which, you know, I say like contrast is in like, I think that it was like a purposeful change as opposed to like an error. But this provides a contrast to them staying in like warmer, shallower parts of the ocean. So this is when they start kind of migrating downwards, if you will.
Right.
They start to become more deep sea
as opposed to
creatures.
Interestingly, the average Triton falls between 4'8" and 5'4". So Travis and I are too tall to be Tritons. But Taylor, you're perfect.
I'm perfect.
You're honestly pretty tall for a Triton.
You're the perfect Triton size.
Can I be a Titan so that
A Titan?
Well, I mean, I would be really short for a Titan.
Right, but you would be tall for a Triton. Say that 5 times fast.
So I will pick the Triton, and I will
Feel
go for
tall.
my conversion right now.
For once in your life.
Shut the fuck up.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Damn. Fucking brutal.
Rude as fuck is what it is.
So in this setting, being that Tritons are kind of the elder race of the allied sea peoples, Tritons have many biases and preconceptions about those around them. They have come to expect that all races that are not their enemies should treat them with some awe or at least respect. If they do not get that respect, their immediate response is either complete indifference or anger. So, however, there's a problem with their some of their recent successes being due only to alliances with other races. Many no longer see them with the same eyes, and this is galling to many a Triton. So it's kind of like that, like early Mass Effect era, where they're kind of like having to contend with the fact that they might act like the council races are having to contend with the fact that they might actually have to start respecting humans a little bit. That's like that's the Tritons right now. And they're like literally clutching their pearls.
They're just so appalled.
They're appalled. They still have their typical creature allies in sea lions and hippocampi, which again, but they are nervous around the prankish and happy dolphins of the shallow sea, and they resent the fact that dolphins, quote, interrupt their currents, which is the undersea expression for getting in their personal space with impunity. Hey bro, I'm gonna need you to stop interrupting my currents. Please back up 6 feet. Thank you.
You just like look out and you see a Triton arguing with a dolphin.
Yeah, and this is the dolphins, like they kind of try to like mess with them and like kind of break through their stoic exterior, but will often leave the interaction after not too long if they sense like no intention of the Triton to like play with them. Like they're like, I'm bored. I'm gonna go talk to somebody else.
I'm gonna go over here. You kind of suck.
Right.
Wow.
So Tritons operate under a patriarchal feudal. That's how also I feel about that in general. Feudal system of nobles, inherited titles, all that kind of fancy schmancy shit.
Yeah.
It says there's little evidence of the inner workings or titles within the nobility or military, as Tritons do not regularly share such information with outsiders. And it kind of then immediately went into the inner workings of that. But basically, more or less, like Triton society is organized basically like it expands out from a central point into different communities called protectorates. And basically protectorates are ruled by a priest and a military or governmental leader who share equal power in decision making.
Right.
And in this instance, Tritons worshipped the god Persana, who was one that I had never heard of before.
Persona?
And similarly to the Ixothachetl, the Tritons were more or less a theocratic society because, again, I mentioned how the priests share political power with a military leader. And so basically this means that pretty much anything high up in Triton society is going to have ties to the Church of Persona. All most non-Tritons can glean about Persona's faith is the devotion to construction and guardianship, and this is because the Tritons had built many great undersea cities and structures in obeisance to their god, which it wasn't explicitly stated that this was such, but I would assume this is at least in part due to the fact that Persona is the god of architecture as well as the god of the Tritons in general. And they believe that Persona created them from water that was in like a particular special spring in the elemental plane of water. So they hail him both as a god and their creator.
Yeah, I've never heard of Persona before either.
Yeah, he's not in much besides.
I don't think he kind of appears anywhere past this, it seems.
And as far as their stats go, Tritons have a +1 to strength and constitution and a -1 to dexterity and charisma, which I will say it does not necessarily make the most sense to me that they would have a nerf to their dexterity in an underwater setting. An overwater setting, sure, but...
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, they're built to be underwater. Why do they have a...
They got a nerf from somewhere.
Fair, I guess.
And they didn't want to give them the issue of having a -2 to charisma, so they're like, just give them a -1 to each of them. Tritons' player characters can be fighters, rangers, mages, clerics, and priests with a level 15 limit for the mage class and a level 12 limit for all of the others. However, they also have access to the special class Dukar, for which they have no level cap. So, real quickly, I'm going to talk about Dukars. Dukars are a unique type of Cerosian wizard organized around 4 philosophical schools of thought and 1 unifying principle, which is promote peace and harmony among all the races of Seros, and Seros will prosper. The primary difference between other types of specialist wizards and Dukars are the coral skeleton implants, through which
I'm sorry, though. What?
The coral skeleton implants.
What the fuck is... What? Why? What?
Because it lets you do cool magic. It lets you do cool underwater magic.
The coral skeleton implant, though.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm worried.
It's implanted during a special Dukar ritual. Don't worry about it.
I'm also a little worried, but...
So, and part of the reason I had to mention the Dukars, well, for one, the organization is named for the Triton who founded it. His name was Dukar. And it's not a Triton-specific class, like I think Sea Elves, some other people can be Dukars, excuse me. But part of the reason I had to mention it is because 2 types of Dukars exist, each with their own role within the organization. You have peacekeepers who strive to maintain peace in Seros and gather knowledge by further exploring the deep. And then you have lore keepers who maintain the history and knowledge of the past and present. So, we are Dukars, I guess.
I'm okay.
I'm thinking of getting my coral magical implant on my butt. I don't know. I don't know about you guys.
Like, does it have to be visible?
Well, I mean, I don't know that it necessarily has to, but like there was one illustration in the book of a Triton who had it like it was like this lump of coral growing on her forearm, basically.
Okay.
So you want your butt to be encased by skeleton coral, basically?
I know. I just really wanted to say butt. Okay.
I mean, look, you
That's
do
fair.
you. You put it wherever you want, but like, I would
not put it there. Fair enough. Well,
think carefully.
We can ponder our coral skeleton implants more while we take a break.
Yeah, that's for the best.
Yeah, because
I gotta really think this over.
That's a big decision. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode on Tritons. Just going to do our ad break here, and then we will get right back to it. It's just me this time, so bear with me. So, first of all, we do still have our affiliate partnership with Metallic Dice Games going on. If you're in the mood and you wish to increase your dice hoard like all of us do, go to metallicdicegames.com. They have all sorts of fantastic dice, special dice, sharp dice, you name it, they have it. And load your cart up when you're done and all loaded up. Go ahead and input the code DungeonPedia for 10% off your entire order. Once again, that is metallicdicegames.com. Go fill up your cart and at checkout, enter the code DungeonPedia for 10% off your entire order. We do, of course, still have our Patreon going if you would like to support us more directly there. That is just at DungeonPedia. You can find it just by doing a search. You don't have to, as always, but we would greatly appreciate it if you wanted to support us there as well. So, we do have our Discord up and running still. It's still pinned to the top of our Twitter. We plan to keep it there for a while, so please come join us in the Twitter. Enjoy memes, discussions, questions, pets, random, just everything. You can even throw in some suggestions on topics or Patreon tiers and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. If you want to, please come join us on our Discord. And speaking of our Twitter, don't forget to just follow us there. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, which are both just at DungeonPedia. If you do have any other suggestions or comments or anything like that, and you're not going to throw it in the Discord, you can always send us a message on Twitter or Instagram, but more importantly, you can email us any suggestions at dungeonpedia.podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us wherever you listen to get notifications of new episodes. And on whatever platform you listen to us on, if it has the option, please rate us. Leave us a review. That helps greatly, especially if you're on like the Apple podcasts and stuff like that. It helps us, get noticed a little bit more and get more fans like you. Also, you can spread the word to your friends as well. That works a whole lot better too. Word of mouth is a great tool, so if you have friends or family or coworkers that you're trying to get into D&D or that are already into D&D and you want to expand their knowledge a little bit more, and tell them about us, we would greatly appreciate that as well. A big ol' thank you to Alexander Nakarada for our theme song, Blacksmith. It's great. We love it. We will use it for so very long, if not forever. So thank you again. And with that, let's go ahead and get you right back into the Tritons episode, and hope you enjoy.
So on second thought, I've decided I'm not going to put the symbiotic coral on my butt.
It's probably for the best, really.
Yeah. I feel like sitting would be a major pain in the ass. So that wasn't even intentional. So anyway, Tritons appear in the 3rd edition Monster Manual, which was published in the year 2000, and their entry in the 3.5 Monster Manual was completely reprinted, as it often happens. Tritons are thought to originate from the elemental plane of water, but have migrated to the material plane for some unknown purpose. So slightly different wording, and honestly, in my opinion, less ominous.
Less ominous, but still just as mysterious.
Right, yeah. Because migrated is they found a portal to the prime material plane, and they were like, okay, this is pretty cool. Whatever, we'll just settle here. But planted is someone's doing something.
Someone's doing something.
I don't like it. So Tritons have silvery skin that fades into silvery blue scales on the lower half of their body. Tight. Tritons form communities either in great undersea castles made of rock, coral, and other natural materials, or in finely sculpted caverns. They are a hunter-gatherer people, and they take from the sea's vast bounty only as much as they need to survive. What are you doing?
You're taking from the sea's vast bounty so you can survive.
And also trying to tear away the cardboard.
Talented. They are naturally suspicious of surface dwellers and prefer not to deal with them if possible. Same joke, guys.
Yeah.
Fucking same.
However, Tritons deal harshly with those who intentionally invade their communities. Same. My community is my house. Capturing intruders and setting them adrift without any possessions at least 10 miles from any shoreline, aka the classic leaving them to the mercy of the sea.
Naturally.
As they did before. Tritons are, which I believe I mentioned this in the Sahuagin episode, Tritons are the natural enemy of the evil Sahuagin and absolutely cannot coexist peacefully with them.
Right. Makes sense.
They are basically constantly at war with the Sahuagin, which, like I said, it makes sense because they're good and the Sahuagin are evil.
Yeah.
Fucking
Dicks.
Yeah, fucking dicks. I love those guys. So all Tritons can, as a spell-like racial ability, can use Summon Nature's Ally 3 as a level 5 sorcerer once per day, and they usually choose to summon a water elemental, which makes sense.
Makes sense, yep.
Yeah.
They are usually neutral good and speak Common and Aquan. So this is at that point kind of where
yes.
a lot of the those languages kind of collapsed into one elemental language.
Yeah, those like odder, bizarre languages.
Or like just very racially specific, kind of collapsed into an elemental language.
Yeah.
Tritons appear as player characters in the supplement Savage Species, which was published in 2003. This is a little bit like, this is kind of a, I don't know how to explain, like to convey this properly. Basically, they don't just appear strictly as like a race. It's also like they're a race and a class. So, for example, they have like class features, but their class features are like, for example, the racial feature of their ability to use Summon Nature's Ally. So it's like, and then it suggests other classes to multi-class into. So it's like when you're selecting to play a Triton, you're selecting to play both that race and like Triton as like a job class.
Right.
14.
That's very strange.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, and I had to like, it literally took me a little bit to like parse it and figure out exactly what it all meant. But anyway, and so there's a little like quote here. It says, quote, Tritons are good choices for players who want a water-adapted character, particularly for a sea-based campaign, but something with magic and more humanity than a Lokatha, Merfolk, or Sahuagin.
Right.
So they gain their ability to summon Nature's Ally at level 4. They have a +2 bonus to their strength and constitution. They have a swim speed of 40 feet, but cannot walk on land, and instead drag themselves by their hands at a land speed of 5 feet.
That's
so bad.
That's just such a bad thing to imagine. I don't like it.
I don't really like it either.
So since they have a water subtype, they can breathe water or air equally well. They have dark vision, and they speak Common and Aquan automatically. And as I mentioned earlier, it's so funny because it was like Triton. Favorite class? Triton.
perfect.
And this is the best multi-classing choices for a Triton are Cleric, Druid, Fighter, and Wizard. So there you go.
All right.
Hey, I want to multi-class into Triton. Let me just go slip on my 2 mermaid tails.
Oof.
Oof and oof. They are proficient with all simple and martial weapons, but no shields or armor, which makes sense because they don't really wear armor. But they are good with a variety of weapons. So, finally, we're gonna go to 5th edition. Yes, that's right. No 4th edition. Because I scoured like every one of the books that I could think of, and they were not in any of them. And I gave it a cursory Google search, and I found a couple of people chit-chatting in forums about it that was basically like, they were asking the same question I was, which was, hey, am I crazy, or does 4th edition not have Tritons or mer people? And everyone was like, yeah, 4th edition doesn't have Tritons, which I didn't go back and double check this about the mer, but they apparently don't have like merfolk. And also specifically, I think a few people said that it's like they don't have an analog even, because if they had a discernible analog, then I probably would have talked about it, because there are some instances when you're like, this is very clearly supposed to be this thing. It's just going by a different name or whatever. But yeah, so
4th edition, they just decided that merfolk in general just don't exist.
Which, like I said, I couldn't corroborate that because I was looking specifically for Tritons, but some people did mention that I guess they don't have like marrow.
That's
so weird.
That's so weird. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of happy because now we don't have 4th edition like ruining it.
Right.
But also, what the fuck?
But then it's like, it kind of ruined it by not.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, they just like put their foot in their mouth. They didn't like deep throat it. You know what I mean? Like they usually do. So 5th edition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start you off with a quote that was at the head of their entry in this source book. Quote, the Tritons. Imagine if the elves spent a few centuries far beneath the sea, where their arrogance and pretension could grow undisturbed. At least the Tritons spent that time fighting Sahuagin and worse, so you know you can count on them in a fight. And that's from Brago Stoneheart, Sea Captain, from Volo's Guide to Monsters, which was published in 2016.
That's beautiful.
So that gives you an idea of what we're working with here. So centuries prior to campaign time, Tritons entered the world in response to the growing threat of evil elementals. It goes back very much to the overarching elemental conflict. That's a big theme a lot in 5th edition, like, for example, with the Aarakocra. This is kind of a part of the water portion of that. So Tritons waged many wars against their enemies on the plane of water, and they drove them into the darkened depths where they escaped into crushing pressure and darkness. So in time, the Tritons noticed that their ancient foes had grown quiet, seemingly. Expeditions to the deep revealed that Krakens, Sahuagin, etc. had fled the plane of water for the material plane. So the Tritons, driven by a sense of duty and responsibility, would not allow their foes to escape. So they journeyed to the material plane to seek out and destroy their former enemies on the plane of water.
Mm-hmm.
So over time, they did banish many of these creatures to the deepest reaches of the sea, and so they kind of settled on the prime material plane. At least a contingent of Tritons. Like, a lot of them do still live on the plane of water. But, like, so they settled to kind of watch and maintain this sort of stewardship over the sea, to basically keep watch for the return of any of these evil waterline creatures. So, as a result of their isolation and limited understanding of the material plane, particularly the surface, Tritons can come across as haughty and arrogant because they see themselves as the caretakers of the sea and expect other creatures to pay them obeisance, basically.
Right.
So it says, you know, of the Tritons' victories over dreadful undersea threats, but the Tritons, quote, are delighted to expound upon the great debt others owe them. Which is so funny.
Jesus.
God damn.
Jesus.
So the Tritons' limited worldview leaves them ignorant of, like, all the governments and wars and other assorted struggles of the surface world, which Tritons often see as minor events. Like, they basically see themselves as, like, they have, like, the biggest and greatest purpose to prevent these other things from happening. It's like how the Night's Watch was like, hey, yeah, this whole, like, White Walker thing, you know, well, like, everyone down further south in Westeros was, like, basically family bickering.
Right.
That's how they see it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, God. So, despite their off-putting attitudes,
That's a way to put it.
right? Tritons are benevolent creatures at heart, convinced that other civilized races deserve their protection. Their attitude might be grating, but when pirate fleets attack or a kraken rises from the deep, they are among the first to take up arms to protect others.
No, they're so sweet.
Yeah, and they readily sacrifice themselves for the common good. They will fight and die for humans, merfolk, and other creatures without question. So they kind of they feel a sense of like cultural guilt for allowing the evils of the plane of water to cross over to the prime material plane and threaten the people there. So they believe that they owe a debt to the world to like
protect it from
what they see as like a failing on their part.
A very drastic shift in attitude towards, land dwellers specifically.
Yeah, towards them just being like, nah, like leave us alone, to this kind of like,
we will protect you.
Yeah, but also like kind of treat you a little bit like you're a stupid child.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can't just protect them and not treat them like that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense.
No. So, at time, their fervor and ignorance of the world can lead them astray. For example, they often underestimate other creatures, which can leave them vulnerable to deception or surprise attacks, that sort of thing. And because of their strong martial tradition, they can oftentimes be too eager to leap into a fight.
It takes some, you lose some. It's fine.
It's fine. So, given their isolation, many Tritons have never been to the surface world. They find the idea of the various social institution, kingdoms, different cultures, and stuff absolutely bewildering because their life in a Triton protectorate is very like regimented, organized, and all sort of revolving around a common cause. Also, a cute thing is that they find the changing of the seasons mystifying, which I think is actually adorable.
Yeah, that's pretty
does
cute.
seem pretty damn adorable, though.
So they're kind of just like to see like all of these like different kingdoms that are allying and betraying each other and all this kind of stuff as very strange, and also kind of like, why are you doing that instead of just like unifying and working together?
Yeah,
because they kind of, it's so different from how they live. And okay, I forgot to mention this from the top. This is all part of the adaptation of Tritons as player characters in 5th edition. So they don't have like a separate standalone like monster manual entry. This is where all of their information comes from.
Okay, so this comes from an actual like player character.
Yes. So that was kind of like explaining their role like in the world. And also, like, that would be things that would, like, influence your character's backstory.
Right.
So, Tritons have a +1 to strength, constitution, and charisma. They average about 5 feet tall, so they're actually a little shorter than the average human. They can breathe both air and water, and have a walking and swimming speed of 30 feet. They can finally walk now, properly.
Hooray.
Yay.
You don't have to just crawl yourself across your campaign.
God. Oh, that's how it be sometimes, though. At least it feels that way. Tritons have resistance to cold and suffer no penalties otherwise caused by being at extreme depths, which makes sense. And as elemental line creatures, all Tritons can cast a fog cloud, gust of wind, and wall of water once per day, and they get those spells at various levels.
Dude, that'd be cool though. Just wall of water just sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Tritons can speak Common and Primordial, and can also convey basic ideas to any creature that breathes water, though they cannot understand them in turn.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend towards a lawful good alignment, as I'm sure the like haughty uppity wants to treat other people like a stupid child but still protect them.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds very lawful good to me.
It's yeah.
Also, Aquan's a language in 5th edition, isn't it? Isn't it? I feel like
I actually don't know.
I feel like it is, because I could swear that the Aarakocra spoke Oran. But it's weird to me that they speak Common and Primordial, but not Aquan. But I don't know if Aquan's a language in 5th edition. I honestly don't remember at the top of my head. I feel like it is, though. No, I don't think it does.
I don't believe they have it. No.
Yeah,
I think it just got absorbed into the Primordial because elementals all speak Primordial.
Yeah.
Well, Well, there you go. I mean, I guess they at least speak that like an elementally aligned language. So to finish off, one of my favorite things about the character creation entries in Volo's Guide to Monsters is the quirks table. And
oh boy.
And these are honestly just all good, so I'm literally just going to read them all off. It's one of those like you roll a d6 to get a particular quirk.
I like those tables.
I know, I love them. So 1, you phrase requests as orders that you expect to be obeyed. 2, you are quick to boast about the greatness of your civilization. 3, you learned an antiquated version of common and drop thee and thou into your speech. 4, you assume that people are telling you the truth about local customs and expectations.
Oh, no.
AKA, you have consigned yourself to being razzed by your party every time you go somewhere.
Like, oh yeah, no, they totally do this. Just walk up to someone and slap their ass. That's how they say hello.
Weird custom, but I'm pleased to take part.
And then the Triton gets arrested.
And or knock the fuck out.
Or both.
Or both.
5. The surface world is a wondrous place, and you catalog all its details in a journal.
Hell yeah. All I picture is like just one entry literally just being the wind blew and limbs on a tree moved.
That's wild.
And then the next one. Snakes?
Snakes? Snakes!
Wait, wrong campaign. And 6, you mistakenly assume that surface folk know about and are impressed by your people's history.
Oh my god.
So like, okay, they're literally himbos.
They're all himbos.
They're all himbos. Like they're intelligent, but they're himbos. Because of course they're like handsome.
Well, naturally, I mean.
Right, yeah, naturally.
This is D&D. Who do you think we are?
Right, yeah.
They are horribly handsome and
horribly, like insultingly handsome.
They are insulting.
Also, what's interesting is like it makes reference to like them having a patriarchal society, but beyond that note that is often dropped, and also the specific, I think in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, where it's like, as a general rule, only male Triton engage in combat. Like it's never
explicitly detailed how
how it's patriarchal, and also a lot of the like art depicts like female Tritons like with weapons or like, you know, clearly engaged in combat situations. And like I said, it literally just says like they have a patriarchal society, but then it doesn't explain how.
Right.
So, you know,
that one's weird.
So, you know, like, there you go.
Maybe it's just patriarchal to the point that kids don't do it. I don't know, man. They decided not to explain it, so.
Yeah, they literally, it was like one line, and then they were like, okay.
All right, good enough, next.
All right, good enough.
Guess what? My Tritons are not a patriarchal society. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Also, it's funny because a lot of the art, especially for the, like, the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, 2nd edition, had some of that like really funny mermaid censorship.
Oh,
you know,
my god!
Where it's like the very like thinnish strand of hair covering the nip.
Oh my god!
Perfect.
Yeah. Or there was like one where I think like a dude was literally holding a trident, and like the shaft of it like just perfectly covered, and it's like I understand that like you can't draw that, but like at least give him like a Speedo.
Oh my god,
you know,
that's too
or just
good,
like draw the boob with no nip, because it was literally like an ornamental like ribbon kind of hanging off of like this trident that she was holding, and then like a strand of her hair.
I'm pretty sure I have seen some art from like the really old like 1st edition and stuff where there's just no nipples drawn.
Yeah, like do that instead of this ridiculous like
why
perfect,
did you change it?
Like,
Yeah,
this ridiculous like, which it's funny and the art is very nice, but it's just like it's just
why?
Like I don't know, give them swimsuits or something.
Give them swimsuits
or something. I don't know, but the like so intentional like perfect moment mermaid fucking hair censorship is hysterical.
It's
to me.
the best.
It's great.
So anyway, that's Tritons.
That's right.
That's the Tritons.
That's the Tritons.
I enjoyed it very much.
The sea people.
Oh man.
The one of like a million sea people.
Yeah. I just love that they're
Yeah,
bewildered by
the changing of the seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the like attractive, somewhat humanoid looking sea people. Oh wait. That's a lot of them.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our 100th episode.
Oh my
It's
god.
insane. It's wild.
It is very insane. And thank you everyone who has stuck around for all 100 episodes.
And thank you to everyone who's joined in recently.
I mean, everyone who's joined in today, because you're a big fan of Tritons.
I understand. I'm also a big fan of these big, dumb himbos now.
They're not that big either. Remember, they're 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Oh, the average Triton's shorter than you.
Yeah, because I would be tall.
Yeah. Taylor the tall Triton.
Look, I'm happy. Just let me really enjoy it.
Yeah, we're too tall to ride, so.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on all of our various social media platforms. Spread the word to your friends. That's always very appreciated.
Yes.
Your friends who like Tritons.
Your friends.
Your friends who are sea lions or giant seahorses or hippocampi.
Your friends who are himbos, I guess. Just be like, this is you if you
were an underwater
D&D
D&D character.
Ooh, your pirate friends.
Yeah.
Maybe not. They don't really jive with Tritons because the whole chaotic pillaging and things.
They're part of the sea, so it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Travis just likes pirates.
True.
Valid.
If you have anything that you would like to suggest as a topic for us to cover, you can email us at dungeonpedia.podcast@gmail.com.
You can also tweet us at Dungeonpedia or share it in the episode suggestion channel of our Discord.
If you haven't joined that yet, do it.
And thank you guys so much for listening. And with that, I think we'll see you on our next episode on Dungeonpedia.
So, they're immune to cold. Well, not immune, but so when winter comes, they're probably just surprised about the snow.
Yeah.
What would they do with snow?
The trust.
Yeah.